Toastmaster Ikrama, could you please give me co-hosting right? So that I can share my slides. Toastmaster Ikrama, are you on call, sir?
Yes, I am.
Okay, please could you give me co-hosting right before we start?
Do that. Let me see. I made you a co-host.
Thank you, sir.
Muhammad, may I begin now?
Thank you so much for the floor given. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes. I don't know whether I'm
Begin, Saida.
something is going wrong. I don't know. I was supposed to be in a francophone,
Room.
meeting.
Okay.
Now I find myself here where everyone is speaking English.
Because you are in the English room.
Okay, then should I go back to the Zoom and look for a French room?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for
You
your
can stay
guidance.
here too.
What?
You can stay here with us.
But if I'm here, can I hear from the others? Those who are in francophone room.
Okay, you can go there. You can go there.
Yeah, because I'm a role player though.
Ah, okay, sorry.
Okay, thank you so much. Then see you.
Okay, see you. Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all doing good. Welcome to this session of the Afterwork under the topic of the public speaking. So, how to introduce and conclude your speech. You will know everything today. But before this, I will give the floor to the Division G Director in order to give us his words. Dear Division Director, you have the floor. Dear Division Director, are you around?
I
Muhammad.
think she's not around. The distinguished
Hello.
Toastmaster.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening. Oh, good evening, DTM Sadiq. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and our distinguished Toastmasters on the call. The division director is unavoidably absent this evening due to other engagements that is beyond our means. And as a result of that, I've been standing in for her to give these opening remarks. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining us this evening, this after work hour. And I believe that this is a platform where we come together to learn and unwind with all the stress of the day. And with that being said, I'd like to appreciate all our role players from the division that have taken up this role and to the districts that have also put up this program. And now I would like to hand over back to Toastmaster Ikrama to kindly take the program forward. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Sodiq Matsuru. I think you were supposed to hand it over to Toastmaster Saida to introduce the moderator. Toastmaster Saida, over.
Okay. So Toastmaster Saida, please, you can take the lectern. Over to you.
Thank you, dear Division J Director. Today we are going to make a training about the structure of a speech, how to make a memorable speech. And for this, we will have a moderator. Who is our today moderator? Our today moderator is a strategy consultant currently serving as team lead at Hexagon Pradal Limited, a primary estate firm helping groups and individuals create wealth through fractional and agro-real estate investing. He is passionate about helping startup companies, brands, organizations, and individuals crystallize skills and grow their vision, goals, and life purpose using effective tools and techniques which he created called casting vision. His hobbies are swimming and also social interaction. His favorite quote is from himself: "When you were born, you look like your parents, but as you grow up, you look exactly like your decision." Dear Toastmasters Ferdinand Anthony, you have the floor if you are ready. Under your loud applause, please.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Saida. And good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone on the call. Toastmaster Ikrama and the Afterwork, an excellent program that has been put together for us to learn and to craft speeches to become more effective and better presenters in every area that we find ourselves. As Toastmasters, excellence is expected of us at every given time. And the Afterwork program is an excellent tool that has been created by our various divisions, anchored by the district, to help us train so that when we are met with a situation where excellence is meant to be dished out, it becomes easy and it flows naturally with us all. I want to thank the organizers of this program for giving me the opportunity to serve as the moderator on behalf of Toastmaster Bernardine, who is unavoidably currently absent.
Sorry,
Hopefully
dear
during
Ferdinand,
the week.
I
And
can't
thank you
hear
very
you
much.
very well.
And we will be strolling into that agenda right now to introduce our trainers for today. This Master Saida.
Yes, I couldn't hear you, but it's good now.
Kindly give me a few moments. Give me a few seconds. We're trying to get the bio of the first trainer.
Okay.
Let us know. Dear moderator, you have the bio.
Okay.
We can't hear you, dear moderator. Are you saying anything? Encourage. Strongly recommend that you stay.
Sincere apologies, please. As the first speaker been introduced, Toastmaster Ikrama. Oh wow.
Yes, pardon. Nobody has been introduced. We were waiting for you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So sorry for the glitch. Our first trainer for this evening, extensive experience in strategic messaging, public speaking, and organization.
Hello, I think Toastmaster Ferdinand, you can put off your camera if your network is not too strong.
Toastmaster Ikrama, this is Toastmaster Bernardine. I'm 5 minutes away from home. If you can hear me, once I get in, then I'll join and take over, if that is permissible. Thank you so much.
So Toastmaster Ikrama, instead of waiting for 5 minutes, I will suggest that you read the bio so that we can continue with the session. Then once we complete the training section, Toastmaster, if he can continue with moderation, if that is fine, instead of just keeping members on the call. Is Toastmaster Ikrama on the call? Toastmaster say that.
My leader, don't worry. Let me just start. Don't worry. We'll do the introductions
Yes,
later.
okay,
Yes.
please, let's go ahead, sir. Thank you very much.
You mean
Alright.
nobody had the bio?
No, your
the
network was quite
threw off.
fast.
But don't worry. I would go on. We'll do the introductions later.
Okay.
Please. Thank you.
Yes. So good evening, everyone. It's an honor and privilege to be here before you today to make a presentation on how to introduce and conclude your speech. During the next 35 minutes, we're going to see some of the techniques to clearly and confidently communicate in every setting that we are. My name is Bazalai Mohammed, even though the moderator wasn't able to get it, but it's an honor and privilege to be here. So let's start with this. In the chat room, just type in, think of the last speaker who truly stayed with you. There are lots of speakers that speak to us. We hear lots of speeches, we go to lectures. Some are memorable, while others, immediately we leave the setting, we forget everything they say. So in the chat room, just who was the last speaker that stayed with you, and what did they say, how did they say it, and why did it matter to you? We have 2 minutes for this. Let me say it in the chat room before we move on. So what did they say? Who's that speaker first? What did they say? And why it mattered to you? Let's go to the chat room and see. Are we on call? Oh, it's okay. Let me give you some minutes because there are 3 activities there. We have people like Barack Obama, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Vusi, the late Yusuf Metamasile, Mahatma Gandhi, and the South African President Nelson Mandela. The way they spoke, it left a lasting impression on us. So what did you really feel when your favorite speaker spoke? Am I audible? It's going to be an interactive class. I have a lot of classwork. Am I audible? Can I get a thumbs up if I'm audible?
Yes, you are.
All right, so in the chat room, we have just 3 minutes for this. I have not seen any response in the chat room. No one is giving me an answer. Think of the last speaker who truly stayed with you. What did he say? How did he say it? And why did it matter? We need this answer before we move on, even if it's one person. Or is my network down? I'm not seeing any response. We have 1 more minute and nobody has said anything. Okay, thank you. Monsieur Sadiq, Brian Tracy, yes?
I'll try if you want.
Oh, you can turn on your microphone and speak, please. If you have anything to say. If it's faster to say it.
Mr. Moderator, good evening. Sorry, can I call a friend or the host? Didn't get that. You didn't get that though.
Okay, at the last speech, okay, at my club session. Sorry, someone was speaking? I don't know. Mr. Moderator, did you get what he said?
Yes, I would like to speak, please.
Okay, speak. You can speak.
Okay. The speaker who stayed with me, there are many speakers who stayed with me, but one of them is probably Barack Obama.
Okay.
For his speech after his election in 2018, I think. 2018, yes.
Okay.
And it's not also the word he shared with us who affected me, but his self-confidence. It's like he was president before, and at this night, in French, they say, il a incarné le poste de président. At this night, in the first minutes of his election, he was really in the he was really president. I don't know the expression to tell
All right,
in
thank
English,
you
but
very
I
much.
think you understand. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So in public
Mr.
speaking,
Moderator,
yes?
Mr. Moderator, can I say something?
Yes, you can say something. Yes.
Okay, my name is Paul Abbey.
Okay,
I was going to
welcome,
say, thank you, sir. I was going to say, can I call a friend or do a 50-50?
Okay. You can do 50-50.
Well, if it's 50-50, probably Tracy Bryan will be there for me. I just read something about him, which he said a long time ago. He said the greatest enemies of success and happiness are negative emotions of all kinds. That sticks with me.
Okay, yeah.
That sticks with me.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. So before we comment into the main topic, there's two things I would like to share with us. And one of it is the 80-second rule of making an impression. The thing is, most people, human beings, they form impression about you in the first 80 seconds or less when you open your mouth to speak. So your first minute shapes how people perceive you for interaction. If you're making a presentation, if you're speaking to them, that first minute is very critical. That is why introduction is one of the most important part of the speech, because you have to make sure that in less than a minute, 1 minute to 2 minutes, you have to make sure that people listen to you. That's your posture, your tone, your energy, and your word matters to make sure that the person you're speaking to connects with you and stays with you throughout the session. Because the thing is, there are a lot of people that are busy. We have so many things that we do. And if you don't say the right thing, then there's every tendency that that person that you're speaking to is going to move on to another thing. He can go to his phone or he does something else. And secondly, we need to understand before we make any speech, before we speak, we need to understand the purpose of speaking. Now, for every speech, there are several things that it has a purpose of why we're making that speech, but generally they are shaped into 4. One is to inform. We share knowledge, we share ideas to other people that were there. Then 2, we're trying to persuade people, influence their decision or actions into doing things. These are more like motivation to do things that we want them to do, to change their behaviors, to impact them with something that you want. Then third one is to motivate action or thought. That is, someone is thinking in a particular direction. We want to change it. We want to motivate that person, because there are so many people that when we can't force you to change, but we can motivate you to change. And that's one of another purpose of a speech. Then we have entertainment. This is to engage and delight the audiences that were there. Now, for every type of speech that we have, it comes in a different form. There are different ways to do it, because when you're informing people, it's more of technical, because you're giving them ideas, you're telling them what to do. So it has to be more technical. When you're persuading, there has to be a little bit emotional appeal in it. There has to be a little bit emotional appeal, because you want them to do what you do. Like when you instruct, and there's also when you're instructing people, you just give orders and they have to follow. So before you speak at any equation, before you speak to anyone, you have to ask yourself this question: what do I want my audience to think or to do? It's very important. When you know this, when you know the form of speech you're going to give, then that will form part of your introduction, that will form part of your body and conclusion of the speech. So the first thing we have to understand is the 80, sorry. Okay, sorry, I want to go back. The 80-20 second rule. And the second one is the purpose of the speech. Why are we speaking to someone? So we have to understand these two things before we speak. Now let's go to the introduction of a speech. There was an exercise here, but I think it has gone off. So from the audience, if you can type in the chat room, what do you think is the most important part of the introduction of a speech? What do you need there? It's supposed to be typed here. I don't know how it went off. So what do you think is the most important aspect of an introductory part of a speech? You can type or you can turn on your microphone. We have 2 minutes for this. It's 33. Yes, anyone with an answer? What's the most important part of an introduction to the speech? The classroom is quiet today. Or should I call names? Grace Mekano, are you on call? Okay, yes, thank you. I have some responses in the chat room. Okay, the hook, yes. Key information about the speech, yes. Is the power to immediately attract the audience. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So that is it. My work, key information, attention grabbing, fantastic. So you are all right with what you said. We're going to be looking at how to introduce the speech. Now, the thing about, there's something I read recently about the attention span of individuals. They say that now, initially the attention span of individuals was around 6 to 7 minutes, but now it's around 3 to 4 minutes. And that's why you see most videos, most contents that content creators do, they do it within a span of 4 minutes, because after that time, there's every tendency for your audience attention to shift. So you must make sure that you have the first thing you must have is that hook with your audience. You start with a quote, you start with a question or a story to bring their attention to what you're going to say. It's very important. And after that, you can also state the purpose of why you're there. You let your audience know your goal of what you're trying to achieve with what you're saying at that particular time. It's also very important, because it determines whether they want to listen to you or not. So you must be in sync with your audience and make sure that whatever you're going to say is of interest to them. If not, that attention span of 4 minutes, they will move. Then you give them a preview of the content. That is what you're going to discuss within the period that they're going to be there. You give them a roadmap. And one particular thing that I found interesting about the introduction is you tell them that within the next hour, you give them a timing. Apart from the roadmap, when you tell them the time, then automatically you're tying them down. Because if you don't tell them time, most of them, after 30 minutes, they don't know how long you're going to stay there. They might be busy. So whenever you're having an introduction in your speech, you try and give people the time that in the next 30 minutes, in the next 1 hour, so that you condition their mind to make sure that, okay, I'm going to have that hour to make sure that within that hour, I'm going to stay and listen to the person that is speaking. So this is just an example of like statistics. Did you know that 75% of people fear public speaking more than death? Today, I will show you how to confidently speak and leave a lasting impact. So this is just an example of how you can hook your audience with statistics, and also you show them, you give them a preview of the content. So any question before I move on? Any question, clarification that is needed? All right, let me move on. So also in the introductory part of your speech, you need to have that connection. Now, let me give you an example. There was a time I went to a class on business development. There were two of us that were speakers. And the other speaker, he started right. He asked a question and he tried to gauge the audience perception about something. He asked them what they were doing. And he made a colossal mistake. After they bared their heart out and told him what they did a mistake, quite right. But the next thing that he said just cut off his audience. He said, that is why you're all failing in your businesses. You can imagine, someone paid money to come and learn from you. And in the first minute that you spoke, you disconnected. There was no connection between him and audience. And in the better part of 20 minutes, he was just speaking about himself. He didn't mind about the audience. So before you knew it, most people were going out, some were taking calls. There was no connection between him and the audience. So connection is very important. In the first minutes that you're making an introduction, you have to make sure that you connect with the audience, because without connection, even the best speech fails. If you don't connect with individuals, your speech are going to fail. And engagement also leads to understanding and action. When you engage the audience, when you give them an opportunity to talk, you give them the opportunity to remember what you said and implement it into action. You see a lot of people saying, by show of hand, tell me this, this, this. By the time they raise their hand, you ask them a question. Okay, give me your own perception in the beginning. From there, you have a connection in your introduction with the audience, which is very important in inspiring action and behavior among your audience. Then we're going to look at sorry about that. How to conclude the speech. My network is a little bit bad, sorry about that. Let me reshare. Okay, I think I should let me look at this PowerPoint. Okay, sorry about it. My Microsoft Office is rebooting, but I will continue, and by the time it comes up, I will reshare my screen. Sorry about it. It actually gave me a warning that it's going to reboot in the next 30 seconds. So we were at a point where we're talking about the connection with the audience. and we are going to look at how to conclude our speech. Conclusion is also important because it's at this point you're going to reinforce and make sure that they understand. One, they understand what you have said so far from the introduction to the body, and two, to inspire them into action. Because when you speak, even if you speak for 2 to 3 hours and you do not inspire any action from your audience, then your speech has gone haywire. It doesn't have any impact. So you have to make sure that when you conclude your speech, the people do what you want them to do. And there are some of the techniques that we use in conclusions to make sure that people do what we want. One is to summarize the key points. Now, by summarizing the key point, it reinforces the message that you're sending to people. You reinforce what you have said throughout, but in a summarized version so that you bring up points. You tell them that we have seen this, we have seen that, we have this. So you list the points that you have shared with them that you want them to remember. There is a certain limit to what they can remember. Imagine you speaking for an hour. It's not everything that they're going to remember, but you as a trainer or as a speaker, you need to know the main points of action that you want your audience to understand and do. And it is with this that you're going to summarize, you're going to bring out the key points that you're going to use. Then the second one is call to action. Now, what is it that you want them to do? My boss once told me that you never expect people, you tell them something and they do it immediately. You have to keep reminding them, you have to keep telling them to do something. So even if you have told them something, tell them again. And that is why once you have told them what you want, what you need them to do in the beginning, in the middle, in the end, you still have to reinforce it because that's just human nature. That's how we are. So we have to make sure that they understand what we need them to do and they do it in a way that we want them to do it. I think it's coming up. Yes, so let's go back to this slide. Sorry about that. It has shared and it's coming up now. All right. So any questions? Sorry, am I too fast? Am I too slow? So we have seen the purpose. This was supposed to be an exercise. Okay, so these are the how to conclude your speech. You summarize your key points to reinforce the message. You encourage specific steps. And another thing about the call to action is sometimes you need to tell people steps on how to do it. Because on various instances, when you tell them, they might not know how to do it. I was at a career session in a particular school, and most of them seem interested in joining a particular professional body. But the thing is, after we have told them about it, they have chosen it, they didn't know how to register about. And when we went back after 3 weeks, none of them have done it. And we asked why. They said they didn't know how to do it. It's something as simple as searching the web to get information, but you know, that's how people are. And you can't take them at that. So you have to make sure that when you're giving your call to action, you have to give them ways of doing what you want them to do. Then you close with impact. You have a quote, you have a story, you have a memorable line that they would always remember you with. And quotes and stories are ways that connect you with the audience and the people. Okay, so who can read this out to me from the audience? Can someone help me read it out?
Anyone can talk.
Key message. Anyone can talk. Not everyone is remembered. Impactful speaking creates connection, clarity, and change. The triple C. Speaking out is not noise, it is influence.
Okay. So by show of hands, how many of us believe every word here? Is it true that anyone can talk, but not everyone is remembered? Some people can come and talk, and once they leave, we forget everything they have said. So memorable speaking, impactful speaking creates connection, clarity, and change. Do we all agree with this? Hello? Do we agree with this?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Yes. So let's go to another exercise. I think I have 10 minutes. Let's. So in the chat room, or you can turn on your mic, how many people have spoken to you and you can't remember a single word? Now, from what we have said, we have spoken about emotion, we have spoken about connection, and we have spoken about purpose. What was missing? Just type it in the chat room. Just say yes, and you tell us what was missing from the speech. Someone speaks to you and, sorry about that. You're missing every information that is there. In the chat room, yes. Connection, yes. And that's one of the most difficult things. A lot of people don't have connection with their audience, and we really need it. Okay, sorry, am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay, my network is going on and off. So thank you very much for your responses. So these are some of the tips that we can practice for both introduction and conclusion. You need to practice your opening and closing multiple times. You need to make sure that you engage your audiences from your first sentence. By show of hands, have you ever, give them an activity to do? So you need to make sure that you engage them. Make your call to action clear and actionable. That is, you tell them how to do it in a way that they can do it. Always tie back to the purpose. That is, inform, persuade, inspire, and the others. Now, for practicing speech, there is something that happened to me a lot of times. We have a peculiar problem in Nigeria, and I don't want, whenever I'm invited to speak, I don't want to be at the tail end, because we never start programs on time. And by the time we start, the first person that's supposed to speak for 1 hour will speak for 2 hours. And before you know it, if you're at the bottom of the ladder, if you have 1 hour slated for you before, they will ask you to do it in 30 minutes or less, because by the evening, everyone is tired and wants to go home. So the thing is, practice assists us in knowing what we're supposed to say. Because imagine you have a session of 1 hour and they didn't tell you that you have, and they will tell you that you have just 15 minutes to finish. So without practicing the opening and the closing, you'll miss out, because once you have 15 minutes, you basically have to just open and close and just put something in the middle. You can't talk too much. So you have to make sure you practice your speech multiple times. Now, how many of us are students of Julius Caesar, by show of hands? You know, in Julius Caesar, when he was murdered by his friend Brutus, him and Mark Antony both spoke. And while Brutus talked, he was logical. He murdered Julius Caesar. But Mark Antony, on the other hand, he knew that Brutus had an upper hand over him. And he made the speech, friends, fellow men, countrymen, lend me your ears. So that speech changed everything, because he was a senator, but he brought down himself to the level of his people, that is the people that were there. So I wish I had more time to explain it, but when you're speaking, you need to make sure you come down to the level of those that you're talking with so that you get connection. There are so many things that you can do. You can show them that before you're successful, yes, you struggled. We had an argument with someone and he said he doesn't need to show his people struggle. I said, yes, but that's a way of connecting with them because that is what they're currently going through. They paid you to come and listen to your struggles and how you were able to overcome it because it's more relatable to them. So you must make sure that you find a way of connecting with your audience. Now, a simple formula for this is that there has to be a message, there has to be emotions, and there has to be a purpose. So you must mix these three things. Imagine someone going through difficulty in his business and you're blaming him for it. Yes, he made a mistake, but there are ways that you talk to people that, you sympathize with them. There must be that empathy in what you're saying. That's why I really like the way we speak in Toastmasters, especially when we're giving evaluation. We're not cruel, we're not harsh. And in doing that, we move, we learn. By having this formula of message, emotion, and purpose, you have impact with those that you're speaking with. So when people remember, they remember what you said, how you said it, and why it mattered. So that is what truly brings the connection between you and your audience. So whenever you're speaking to them, you need to have these three things in check. You need to have the message, you need to have that empathy, the emotions, and you need to have the purpose. You're telling him these things so that he can change for the better. So he needs to understand it. You don't have to be cruel, you don't have to be harsh. So people remember you for what you said, how you said it, and why it mattered to them at that particular time. So in conclusion, when we're speaking, the introduction, the body, the conclusion, it's more than just filling silence with words. We're not just here to speak, to say everything. True impact comes only when our words are able to connect with people and inspire them, change their behavior into doing things that we want them to do. I really like this quote. I don't know who said it, but he said, anyone can talk, but not everyone is remembered. So we should strive to be those who, when we talk, when we introduce ourselves, when we conclude, we're able to make a lasting impression, we're able to inspire action, we're able to bring about change in the lives of our audiences. So we should strive for clarity, purpose, and connection in every message that we said. So there's this quote that I'm going to close with. Your ability to communicate is an important tool in your pursuit of your goals. That is by Brian Tracy. So in as much you're speaking to people, you also have a goal of why you're speaking to them. So it's a two-way win. You're changing their lives and you're also changing your own. So with this, I have come to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for listening to me. At this juncture, I'll hand over to the moderator for questions. Moderator, are you on call, ma?
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I am. But I think you need to put down your slide. Thank you so much, double distinguished Toastmaster Bazalei Muhammad. Thank you so much. That was a wonderful session. Can we just appreciate him using our emojis? Let's just appreciate him. He really took time to delve into that topic. Indeed, anyone can talk, but not everyone is remembered. I'm very sure, doubly sure, that we will all remember this training session today, put together by the Toastmaster Leadership Institute, where we move from performance to excellence. We've lost a lot of time due to network glitches, so I'll kindly request that we start putting up our questions or comments or contributions in the chat room. Just a quick rundown on some of the things he's shared today in case you missed any part of it. The greatest enemy of success and happiness are negative enemies of all kinds. That was put forward by one of our members, distinguished Toastmaster Paul Abbey. Instructor today took us through the 80-20 second rule of making an impression in the first few seconds. We want our audience to be informed. We want to persuade them. We want to inspire them, and we want to entertain them at the same time. He helped us to understand what it means to hook your audience from the very first moment you start speaking. State your purpose. You can start with a question, quote, story, or statistics. And he gave us a rundown of the power of connection, which is the bridge between words and action. Finally, he told us about the need to conclude. Summarize your key points and ensure that you have a call to action that is actionable. I like the pun there, the call to action that is actionable. Message plus emotion plus purpose is equal to impact. When we remember what you said, how you said it, why it mattered, then you've truly spoken out. And I'm sure we must all agree that distinguished Toastmaster Bazalai Mohammed really spoke to us today and he connected. If you believe he connected with you, please use your emojis and appreciate him one more time as I check the chat room if there are any questions or comments. I can't see any at the moment, but I can see our emojis coming up. Thank you so much. On behalf of the Toastmasters Leadership Institute, we appreciate you, our dear leader, distinguished Toastmaster Bazalai Mohammed. If we don't have any questions, maybe you want to add one or two comments to what he's just shared, something that resonated with you in a very special way, before I hand over the virtual lectern to my leader, the host of this meeting. We know we've lost a lot of time. Is there someone that wants to add to the...
Sorry, good evening, Madam Moderator.
Okay. Yes, please.
My virtual hand is up, but let me raise my two hands.
Okay.
I sit for 2 hands.
You have the
Good.
virtual floor, sir.
Okay. I don't want to be sued for plagiarism. That quote was actually I told you it was by Brian Tracy. It wasn't my quote before they get me arrested. I'm still learning. So please just more or less what they call it now, disclaimer, caveat emptor, because I. But our leader, he said something that really caught my interest. He talked about you keep repeating by way of communication. You keep repeating so that people will act by in your conclusion or whatever facilitation you're doing. You must learn to repeat that aspect of conclusion, or rather the impact, the action point you're passing across. So I was wondering, could it be that is why and how leadership is becoming more confrontational, because you keep talking to those you are leading to do one thing over and over again before you get results? Is it that part of speech was borrowed and really implanted into the heart of the leaders and the led? Thank you. Is he in the hall?
Thank you very much. Yes,
okay.
I'm here, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
The thing about it is we are living in a world, like when I was preparing for this presentation, I came across a survey that was being done by the American Medical Society. And they found out that a lot of their students are failing exam. Why? Because the amount of information that we are currently consuming in our brain, because our brain, they have the primary, I forgot what they said. You know, there's do we have a scientist in the house? The primary memory and the secondary memory and the processor. So when you get information, it goes to the primary memory before it goes to the processing. And from there, some of the information is going to be sent out and the other comes in to the secondary memory, which is retained with us. Now, when they said we consume over 4,000 texts, we consume text, image, and sounds at the same time. And this brings about a lot of pressure on our brain for us to remember what we're being said. Leaders now are finding it difficult to lead people because most of the people it's not a matter of interest, short-term memory, thank you very much, short-term memory and long-term memory. So because of the information that we're consuming now, a lot of people are forgetting things. You'll tell them to do this, and believe me, before you come back to the table, they have forgotten what you have said. And it has to do with the amount of information that we're now consuming from our phone. When you're scrolling, they say the minimum, if you scroll for a minimum of 4 hours, you are consuming over 4,000 words, text into your brain, and you have to process it. So our attention span is becoming low. The repetition we're doing, yes, if it were before, we wouldn't have done it, but we have to do it now because of the situation that we have found ourselves. While technology has its advantage, but it also has its disadvantage with regards to our brains and our memory. So leaders are increasingly finding it difficult because you need to tell people to do things, and the cost of them not doing it is higher than the cost of you telling them over and over again. So we just have to balance it, because it happened to me a lot in the office. I'll tell person to do this and he will not do it. And we work with targets, we work with timelines now. So you can imagine it's better for you to keep repeating it as a leader to that person than to not meet that deadline. And it comes about because of the amount of information that we are now putting in our brain that has made the short-term memory to be overloaded. And what we take to the long-term memory, also in the research that I read, it depends on what we like. So imagine a situation where you tell someone to do a work that he doesn't like. It would automatically go out of his brain. So that is it with the question. That I hope I have answered your question, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes,
I'm grateful.
thank you very much. Any other question?
Okay, thank you so much for that insightful response. However, with your kind permission, and to the organizers and to all our guests here present, thank you for staying with us this long in spite of the challenges we face with the network. We would have to end the question and answer session at this moment. We could go on and on because I know there's so much to learn from. There's so much for all of us. And I've observed that Toastmasters love knowledge. We feed on it. Kindly permit me now to invite Toastmaster Ramatu Abdullah to give her toast. Thank you. Is she in the meeting room? Is she in the meeting room? Toastmaster Ramatu Abdullah. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can.
Okay. The virtual lectern is yours. There is no lectern here, but the virtual space is yours.
Thank you. Members, leaders, and friends, good evening.
Good evening.
After a long work day, there are many places we could be right now. We could be resting. We could be scrolling. We could be completely switched off. But instead, we are here. And that tells me something important about everyone in this room. We are people who choose growth over comfort. People who show up not because it's convenient, but because it matters. Week after week in Toastmasters, we do something courageous. We speak where silence feels safer. We evaluate with honesty and kindness. We take on roles that stretches us and discover we are more capable than we thought. Along this journey, one thing became clearer. None of this works without strength and well-being. So we learn to value our health because it fuels our ambition. We also learn the power of progress, small improvements that compound over time. Each speech, each meeting, each effort moves us forward. And none of this happened by accident. It happens because of leaders who serve, guide, and create opportunities for others to grow. To our district leaders, your dedication keeps this community alive and thriving. So, As we pause in this after work hour and look ahead to what is coming next, to new goals, new challenges, and a promising year ahead. Now, I invite you all to do one final thing with me. Please raise your glasses. To our health, to our growth, to our leaders, and to a successful and fulfilling 2026. Cheers. Thank you. Back to you, the moderator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ramatu Abdallah. Please use your virtual emojis to appreciate her for that beautiful toast. We're really looking forward to new goals, new challenges, and a promising 2026 ahead of us. Thank you so much. I'd like to now invite a very special person. He's very dear to me, very frank, very straightforward, very pragmatic, and the current chairman of the planning committee. He's going to tell you some very, very important news. Join me as I welcome distinguished Toastmaster Paul Abbey to share some very important information with all of us. You have the virtual space, sir.
Thank you so much. Under disclaimer again, planning committee of what? Before I get arrested, I'm planning.
That's the special thing you're going to. That's what you're going to tell us now. It's to draw us in. They told us the hook us now.
Okay, that's nice. And Madam Toaster, you did very well, but because you never repeated it, only 3 of us raised up our glass. So next time, keep hammering on it so that the rest of us will show our glasses. Thank you so much. Well, Gabon is here. May 21st, Gabon commences. District 130 conference will commence. The registration fee is just $99, approximately 150,000 naira. Begin to register now. And let me tell you, we have, please now, we have something very exciting coming up for us. The early birds, that is a good fee for you. We are trying to do 2 trips in 1 trip. By that I mean we're trying to see if we can stop over in Kigali and have a day out there for tourism attraction. We're working on it seriously, and I'm very sure that if we have enough number of registered members, that will be possible so that you're paying 1 fee for 2 trips. Those of us who have not been to Kigali will have opportunity of going over there. Golf players, there'll be golf for you to play. So that we might leave on the 19th instead of 20th. So please, join me and let this my government not fail, because we need to be there in our numbers. I'm expected to come there with 60 of you, and I can see we are just 15 here. So my journey is reduced. What I'm going to look forward to is 45 in some other meeting. For this meeting, I'm sure that all of us will attend. Thank you so much for being part of it. Just go ahead and register. After registration, we'll get your visa for you. After the visa, you now pay your ticket, so we can walk through this process together. Thank you, and God bless you. Bye.
Thank you so much for that brief but succinct information. And I can also add that there's so much on this about this conference that is being shared on all the platforms. So you can go to your platform, your WhatsApp page, and just search for Gabon conference, and you find a whole lot of gamut of information coming across your way. And you also have your chairman here who is going to drop his contact, I'm sure, in the chat room, his WhatsApp number. He's shaking his head. Is that a yes in the Indian way? So that you can reach out to him if you have more questions, more clarifications. Thank you once again. At this point, I'd like to respectfully invite the division director. I've been trying to get more clarification, but I believe it's division director for G, Division G, distinguished Toastmaster Mary Abonika, to kindly share her parting words with us here.
Sadiq Monsuru is standing in for the division director.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ikrama. Thank you. So, distinguished Toastmaster Sadiq Monsuru, you have the virtual space.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Bernardine Obande for excellent rendition of your role. And good evening once again, our fellow Toastmasters on the call. On behalf of the Division Director, distinguished Toastmaster Mary Henry Agbonika, we want to sincerely thank you all for staying with us from, I think we started this program 8 o'clock and now it is past 9. So I want to thank you very much. I want to also thank all our role players, starting with our trainer for today, the double DTM, Basalai Mohammed. Thank you for sharing with us your wealth of knowledge. We really appreciate those nuggets that you gave us. And I believe that you are going to share the material with us later so that we can share with other members in Division G and C. I also want to thank the moderator, Toastmaster Bernardine. Despite a very busy schedule today, she was still able to at least participate in this program actively. Thank you very much. And to our toaster, Toastmaster Ramatu Abdullahi, thank you very much for giving us a beautiful toast. And I believe Toastmaster DTM Paul Abi has already said it. Next time, please just remind us to at least show up our cup so that we can have more people on the call that we show up their cup. But overall, we all did very well. And to our host, the district, we want to thank you for putting this together. At least this is a program used to complement what we are already doing at the division level. So we want to thank you and for giving Division G the opportunity to collaborate with you to execute this important after work hour. And with that being said, I want to thank every one of you once again that please do have a great evening. And we are wishing you Merry Christmas in advance and let us recharge for next year so that we can continue to learn and continue to grow as members and as community. Thank you very much. I think at this point, I would like to invite Toastmaster Ikrama to either continue or to close the meeting. Thank you very much.
Mr. Division Director, you did not assure us that you are coming to Gabon with your division. This is
we are working on that, my leader.
Okay. After a beautiful speech like this, our request is not honored. I can take it that you've granted that Division G, all of you are coming.
We are working on that.
Because Division G is G and G, Gabon, Gabon. So we should have more members from Division G.
G for Gabon.
G for Gabon.
Toastmaster Ikrama, over to you, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
you so much. Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Sadiq, and thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Paul Abe. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Bernardine, for that incredible moderation. And thank you, everyone, for attending to the TLI team. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Saida, for stepping in and ensuring that things went well. And with this, I'd like to call this Afterwork session to a close. See you in the new year at the first Afterwork of 2026. Thank you so much.
Merry Christmas.
You can now unmute and share camera.
Au revoir, bonne année. How do you say Happy New Year? Bonne année.